Morning. It's Saturday. It's Saturday going into the holiday season. I've already got my trees up. My house is decorated, and so I'm kind of like nonstop watching Christmas music and or listening to Christmas music and watching Christmas videos. However, I watched a video last night, a Christmas movie last night that was absolutely wonderful. It was a wonderful movie. I cried. I cried on this movie. It was called The Santa Box. And what it was is that there was an elderly gentleman who had been through, he was Jewish, and he had been through the war with the Nazis, and he had been hiding in this abandoned building as a child. He had lost his family and whatnot through the war, and he had been hiding. I absolutely love my Christmas stuff. Anyway, he had been hiding in this abandoned building that had been, wrecked from the war. And so there was a German soldier that came, and the German soldier, I mean, of course, the Jewish child, he was a child at that time, maybe 10, and he was hiding and he was terrified. And the Jewish soldier knew he was there and said to him, I'm going to leave this box. I cried like a baby. I'm going to leave this box. He had a box. It was a cigar, almost like a cigar box. And he had paper and pen in it. And he kind of took it out. He dropped it. He picked up the papers. He put it in this box and he put it out. And he said to the Jewish boy who was hiding, and he knew the Jewish boy was there. And he said to the little Jewish boy, he said, so I'm going to continue to come back here. And what I want you to do is I want you to write what you need or what you want to survive. Put it in that box. I will read it. I will go get it. I will read the note. I will go get it. I will bring it back and put it in the box. And so the German soldier, the Nazi soldier, was not looking to kill this young child. Okay, he was looking to make his life a little bit better, even though he knew that it was a war-torn situation. And so, he knew that the young man was scared. Anyhow. So that's just kind of like a little bit of the story, but I really, really want you to watch this movie. So I'm not going to tell you everything, okay? It's called The Christmas Box. It's called The Santa Box. It's called The Santa Box. And so that's where the story originates, where this young Jewish boy and this Nazi soldier kind of had a thing going where the little Jewish boy would put what he needed to, maybe food, maybe medication, maybe light, maybe blankets, and he would put it in this box, and the Nazi soldier would go and get what the little Jewish child needed, bring it back, put it in the box, or put it there, and then the Jewish child would get it without making himself known, right? So hang on, I just got to take a drink of coffee. So I really thought that was amazing. And as the years went through, I guess apparently this Jewish boy grew up to be a man. He got married, he had children, and he continued that tradition. Now, I'm not going to give it away. So I encourage you to go watch that movie because I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby. However, there was a part of that movie that was dealing with bullying. And I myself, as a child, I was bullied. When I was a child, because of the fact I was bullied, I kind of pushed back a little bit and I became a bit of a bully. Okay, I mean, I pulled away from it. I learned my lesson very, very quick. However, I remember those things, and they're like, I remember them like it was yesterday. And I remember how I felt. And I remember how horrible I felt when I realized that I was actually doing that to other kids, that I was actually striking out at them because I felt bullied. And they were mean. They were mean to me. They were mean about my clothing. They were mean about the fact that nobody played with me at recesses. They were mean. The nuns, I was taught by nuns, and a lot of the nuns were mean to me because I came from a broken family. I came from a single parent family. And so, back in those days, in the 60s, that was frowned upon. I mean, you were the lowest of the low. And so I was bullied a lot. And part of this movie, The Santa Box, is showing a young girl who had a best friend and became a bully to her best friend. Okay, and a lot of the times the people that we pick on are the people that we know will forgive us really easy. And so that was part of this story that kind of it sat with me. I mean, I'm still thinking about the movie, right? So I really encourage you, if you have children who are being bullied, if you have children who you find are a little bit over the top, and maybe perhaps they're bullies, and you're seeing that part of them, sit down as a family and watch this movie together and say, look at, yeah, because you know what? It's so heartfelt, and it's so true, and I would encourage anyone to watch the movie. Now I'm nonstop Christmas movie watching all weekend because all the Christmas movies are out now, and so I'm nonstop watching them, and I've been crying out a hat. And at Christmas time, this is my hardest time of the year. Even though I love Christmas, it's a season of giving. It doesn't necessarily have to circle around the commercial aspect. It's just the idea of giving. I'll bake cookies for my neighbors. I will, you know, if I know somebody needs a sweater, I will give them a sweater. If I see a homeless person and they don't have a coat and I have an extra coat, I would give them a coat. You know, that type of thing, right? So it's just a season of giving. It's a season where we look at ourselves and we kind of look at where we are in our life. And, you know, it's a give and take. I have been endowed with many blessings over the years, many, many blessings. And the biggest one of those blessings are the three beautiful children that I had. I mean, I was lucky to have healthy, viable children that I brought into the world, okay? And I was lucky to be able to raise them, and I was lucky that they actually made it into university and college and were able to get an education and good jobs, okay? And you know, we all have our trying times. So there were periods in their life and in my life where, you know, things weren't looking so good. But having the strength to pull through those times is what the crust of this movie, the crunch of this movie is about. Being strong, okay? Being able to reframe things in your life, being able to look at your life in a new way and reframe it. And that's, you know, that's the best that we can hope for. But I would encourage you to watch this movie. It is heartfelt. It is a beautiful movie, and it has so many good qualities to it. It talks about how it feels on both sides of the fence, being the person who's bullied and being the person who bullies. It talks about the fact there are people who possibly were involved in the war, perhaps as Nazis, okay, Nazi soldiers, who didn't agree with mainstream. They didn't agree with the fact that there were children that were suffering, okay? And so this one particular Nazi soldier, he led with his heart and not his gun. And so anyhow, I want you to, or I encourage you to watch that movie. Once again, it's called The Santa Box. I will post, I took a picture of the screen and I will post that so you can look it up and see indeed what YouTube channel I watched it on. However, it's an amazing movie. I would encourage anybody to watch it, especially if you have children. If you have children who, you know, have been going through that, maybe they've been bullied at school, or maybe they have had situations in their life where, you know, their opinions and their values weren't important to other people. Okay. And so I will tell you this, as a family, as a group dynamic, I will encourage you to sit down and watch this movie, because it's going to bring you to tears. Trust me. And it'll make you look very, very deeply at how you treat other people and how you relate to other people, and indeed how you communicate that verbally to other people. So I shall see you on the next video. And as we're going into the holidays, I wish you a very happy holiday.